Have you ever noticed something strange? Some of the smartest people you know often seem to be the most alone. They understand the world deeply. They see patterns others miss. They ask better questions. Yet many of them struggle with something simple: connection. Why? Why do intelligent people often feel like outsiders? Why do they feel misunderstood, even in rooms full of people? And why does thinking deeply sometimes create distance from others? Today we'll explore the psychology behind this, because the truth is, loneliness among intelligent people is not accidental. It's often the side effect of how their minds work. Intelligence often comes with a hidden cost: heightened awareness. Smart people tend to notice things others overlook. They analyze conversations. They read between the lines. They see motives behind actions. While most people simply experience life, highly intelligent people are often observing life while living it. This creates distance. Imagine watching a movie while also analyzing the script, the lighting, and the symbolism. You can still enjoy it, but you're never fully immersed. This kind of constant mental processing can make everyday interactions feel shallow. Small talk becomes exhausting because their mind naturally asks deeper questions. Why do people behave this way? What does this conversation really mean? What are the hidden dynamics here? But most social interactions don't operate at that level. So intelligent people often feel like they're speaking a different psychological language. Another reason smart people feel lonely is overthinking. Their minds don't just think, they simulate possibilities. After a conversation, they may replay it in their head. Did I say something wrong? Did they misunderstand me? Did that joke sound awkward? While others move on instantly, their brain keeps analyzing. This creates social fatigue and sometimes anxiety. Because when your mind constantly evaluates everything, even simple interactions start feeling like complex puzzles. Eventually, some intelligent people start withdrawing, not because they dislike others, but because their mind turns every interaction into mental work. And that can be exhausting. One of the biggest causes of loneliness among intelligent people is something psychologists call a depth mismatch. Most conversations stay on the surface: work, weather, celebrities, daily routines. But highly intelligent people often crave depth. They want to discuss ideas, philosophy, human nature, the future, meaning. This mismatch creates a strange problem. They're surrounded by people, but rarely feel mentally connected. It's not about arrogance, it's about stimulation. Just like athletes need physical challenge, intelligent people need intellectual challenge. Without it, conversations feel empty. Over time, they may start feeling like they don't belong anywhere socially. Highly intelligent people are often skilled at recognizing patterns in human behavior. They quickly notice social pretending, hidden insecurities, status games, manipulation, what others take at face value. They analyze. For example, when someone compliments them, they might wonder, do they mean it? Or are they trying to gain something? This ability to see behind social masks can make interactions feel artificial. It's like watching a magic trick. After you already know how the trick works, the illusion disappears. And while this awareness protects them from manipulation, it can also reduce the sense of authentic connection. Another factor is selectivity. Smart people often have very high standards for friendship, not in terms of status or popularity, but in terms of intellectual compatibility. They look for people who are curious, open-minded, honest, emotionally intelligent. The problem is, those qualities are rare combinations. So instead of having many casual friendships, they may only connect deeply with a small number of people. And if they haven't found those people yet, loneliness becomes inevitable. Many intelligent people experience something painful, being misunderstood. They may express complex thoughts, but others interpret them incorrectly or oversimplify what they're saying. This happens because highly analytical thinkers often communicate in layered ideas, but most people prefer simpler explanations. So their ideas sometimes get dismissed as overthinking, being dramatic, being too complicated. Over time, this creates frustration. Eventually, some intelligent people stop sharing their thoughts altogether. They stay quiet, not because they have nothing to say, but because they're tired of explaining themselves. Intelligent people often develop strong independence. They enjoy learning alone, thinking alone, working alone. This independence can be powerful, but it has a side effect. The more comfortable someone becomes with solitude, the easier it becomes to avoid social interaction entirely. Solitude becomes safe, predictable, peaceful. But if it becomes the default, isolation slowly grows, without them even realizing it. Another reason intelligent people feel lonely is existential awareness. They spend more time thinking about questions like, what is the meaning of life? Why do humans behave irrationally? What is consciousness? Where is society heading? These kinds of thoughts can create a sense of psychological distance from everyday life. Because most people are focused on practical concerns, bills, work, entertainment. But existential thinkers often feel like they're observing humanity from the outside. That perspective can be fascinating, but also isolating. Ironically, many intelligent people are also highly empathetic. They can understand different perspectives. They imagine how others feel. They see emotional patterns. But this ability sometimes makes relationships harder because they may notice emotional inconsistencies.
Are you okay?
No. Thank you for asking.
For example, someone saying they're fine, but clearly being upset, or people acting in ways that contradict their values. This awareness can make social dynamics feel confusing or even disappointing. And when expectations for authenticity are high, relationships become harder to maintain. Here's an important truth. Intelligence does not remove the human need for belonging. No matter how analytical someone is, humans are still social creatures. Even the most brilliant minds in history struggled with loneliness. Many philosophers, scientists, and writers experience this deeply. Intelligence may shape how someone sees the world, but it doesn't replace the emotional need for being understood. But there's also good news. The same traits that create loneliness can also create extraordinary connection. Because when intelligent people finally meet someone who understands them, the connection is often incredibly deep. Conversations become stimulating. Ideas flow naturally. And for the first time, they don't feel like they have to simplify themselves. Instead of many shallow connections, they build a few profound ones. And those relationships can be far more meaningful. So why do smart people often feel lonely? Because their minds operate differently. They analyze deeper. They think longer. They question more. This creates distance from typical social interactions. But loneliness is not the price of intelligence. It's simply a phase many thoughtful people experience while searching for the right connections. Because somewhere out there are people who think the same way, who ask the same questions, who enjoy the same depth. And when those minds finally meet, loneliness often disappears, not because they became less intelligent, but because they finally found someone who speaks the same language of thought.